Welcome to a Tuesday. It's a beautiful day out there. We've got some great weather to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about creature features. If you grew before we do the weather, if you grew up in the Bay Area, you know who Bob Wilkins is, and you maybe I was just saying this. I don't know if it's because I'm 65, close to 66, and I was on the young age of him. So I would guess if you're not 55 years old or older, you got no idea who this guy is, and you don't care. But in terms of his history, television history, I believe this was the first kind of regularly scheduled creature feature branded midnight movies, must see kind of thing. I mean, every kid in the Bay Area, even in high school on Saturday nights, I can't remember if he was on Friday nights too, they may have expanded it, but on Saturday nights would tune into creature features. You know what it was? It was like Saturday Night Live in the 70s for a lot of you, or in the early 80s. You would come home from a date or out partying or whatever in high school, and you would sit down at 11:30 and watch Saturday Night Live. Well, that's how this was. And then you talk about this the next day at school. And Bob Wilkins in Channel 2, quite frankly, created that. And so the reason I have us both up there is because I get it. I mean, we look alike, man. I mean, it's kind of weird. It could be the glasses. It could be the gray suit. But he was awesome. He was deadpan. He'd make fun. It was kind of like Mystery Science 2000. He would make fun of the movies, which wasn't hard to do. It was awesome. And I knew some of the guys, like Bob Shaw worked with him. And so I knew some of the, back in the day, so I knew some of the guys in the studio who had worked with Bob Wilkins as well as with, Pat McCormick. And so for me, being a young guy growing up in television, just as it was trying to get bigger, these guys were legends, right? And so you got to understand, when you get 3 TV stations and you got a guy like this, and he was funny. He wasn't technically hilarious. It was just, we'd never seen anybody on TV be a smartass before. He was an absolute smartass before being a smartass was okay. All right, let's do some weather here for you. I'll see if I can find my correct page to go. Oh, there's the fog. We'll check that out. I'll move this over here. So anyway, Bob Wilkins, probably somewhere on YouTube you could find what we're talking about if you care to. And again, it's hard to explain how big it was. It was probably like the Hindenburg kind of, you know what I mean? Like you try to tell kids what the Hindenburg was all about or whatever. My bad example. Okay, so this is a satellite image. I like this. People ask me all the time, why and how do you forecast? Not why do you forecast the fog, but how do you forecast fog? And this is how I forecast fog. There's a lot of ways. I go right to the visible imagery. This is this afternoon. We've already got temperatures into the 80s. I go right to the visible satellite image and I go, oh, what's going on? And right away you go, oh, man, they've got a little thunderstorm or shower activity up here around Bear Valley. We've got fog that's intruded a little bit. Let's see if I can pull that up. We got fog that's intruded a little bit right into here. That's kind of up by Gualala. We've got pretty clear around the Bay Area, Monterey, Salinas Valley. See that low-lying area getting some fog push. Okay, so that's what the first thing I do. I look at and that's the first thing I do almost every morning, is especially this time of year, is see the beaches is clear. We're usually checking for surf or whatever. So, and then I do a move. This is the 4-door profiler, and this is the time runs this way. I know it looks complex, but time runs. This was last night around midnight, and you can see that bump. Take the dark blue line and go, oh, that's the depth of the marine layer. Go to the left. So it was up to approximately 2,200 feet last night. That is well over the coastal hills. That's why it was everywhere this morning. That's why it kind of burned off quick in a lot of places today, because it was so high. It didn't have a lot of support underneath it, and it burned off rapidly. And then if you notice, as the day goes on, the marine layer pinches down. And then tonight, it'll go back up. That's a 4-door profiler. It's an acoustic profiler. And yeah, they're pretty awesome. And they do a nice job kind of depicting the depth of the marine layer. This is Ocean Beach. We got some tankers offshore. Tide is coming in. I think there's a light picture. Swell, that's a good sandbar right there. Not bad. It's peeling off. But you got onshore winds, southwest, 4 to 10. Swell's going to hover 4 to 10 feet the next few days if you're fishing or whatever. But you got this kind of incessant chop. I know when I go fishing out with friends or whatever, that chop kicks my bottom because it's not necessarily big swells. It's just rocky. So if you're real fishermen, guys who don't get seasick like I do, they're fine with it. But I would look at that day and go, I'm not going out fishing. So you see the trees moving a little bit. So got a little bit of breeze out there. And then I wanted to point out this map because I love it. We already are up to 94 degrees where are we at 94 degrees? In Sacramento, somewhere in Sacramento, it says 94, but it doesn't give me let's get a better location. There's 85. That's in Marysville, 85 degrees. It's 86 degrees in Modesto. It's 77 degrees. That must be elevation in Amador County, Westover Field, which is an airport. So a lot of these are airports, but you get the idea. So the observation maps, this is today, obviously. And this, by the way, the forecast this whole week, very similar each day. So don't freak out about the subtle changes. It'll be up a degree or two today, down a degree or two tomorrow, and then hover there. Mid 80s in the warmer spots. You go into the Central Valley, you will most definitely find yourself some heat. You'll find the 90s. So, and this is the KTVU website. I hope you go to this. We have a pretty good website. We got a pretty good app too, weather app. If you want to check that out, you go to Apple apps and you can find KTVU weather app. And you can see the 5-day forecast, which is put together. I think I put this one together last night, but you see the temperatures hovering. So there you go. Bob Wilkins, mystery solved. Not related, but I did meet him once. He was cool. Forward profiler tells you how deep the marine layer is. Visible satellite, that's how you figure out where the fog is. This whole week is going to roll just like today and yesterday. Little slight fluctuations, just like that profiler. All right, thanks for hanging in. We'll see you tomorrow.